right. How's everybody doing today? So nice to be back here talking to you guys again. We're going to be doing, this is going to be the first comparison video I've ever done. So forgive the kind of sloppy format. I'm going to probably refine this as I go, and hopefully it'll get better and better. So what are we going to be comparing today? Very good question. So let me start out with this. If you've ever wondered what exactly is the difference between over-the-counter hearing aids and prescription hearing aids, like what are the differences? What are some of the cons? What are some of the things that you're going to be missing out on if you go with an over-the-counter hearing aid versus a nicer prescription hearing aid? Well, keep watching, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about.
So in the world of over-the-counter hearing aids, and I always talk about this, you've got basically three different categories. You've got your really, really cheap, $100 to $200, maybe $300, very, very basic amplifiers. They might have a couple of different programs, maybe, but they don't have any of the advanced features, no directionality, no noise reduction. They're not programmable, definitely not programmable. And then you have your super expensive, more advanced over-the-counter hearing aids that are more like prescription hearing aids. They're programmable, they've got all those advanced features. Not quite as good as real prescription hearing aids, but you get the point. And they can be anywhere from, $1,500 to even like $2,500, $2,600. And then you've got your hearing aids that kind of land right in the middle, maybe anywhere between like $500, maybe $1,000. And that's where these Elehear Alpha Pros are. They're not programmable, but they do have a lot of the advanced features. They do have an app, they have Bluetooth.
And what better hearing aid to be comparing that to than the very nice Philips HearLink 9040, which is available at Costco. That is the latest Philips hearing aid from Costco. And the equivalent to that would be the Oticon Real 1. And the reason I chose these two hearing aids is because the Philips is, one of the best hearing aids out there on the market now in the prescription world. And the Elehear Alpha Pro is one of the better over-the-counter hearing aids out there. And when shopping for hearing aids, it could be kind of confusing, why is there such a big price difference when they both kind of look similar and have similar features? They both have apps, they both have Bluetooth. What is the difference? That's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? Now, my intent is not to beat up on Elehear or any other over-the-counter hearing aid out there. The Elehear is a much less expensive hearing aid, so it's going to be missing out on some of those features. That's why there's a big price difference.
And one of the main differences is the Elehear Alpha Pro is not a programmable hearing aid, and the Philips is. And that's going to make quite a big difference when it comes to the sound quality. But it does have some really nice features that even the Philips doesn't have, and that is the reason I chose this Elehear. It may not be programmable, but it's got some really nice features.
But on the flip side, I also want to show you some of the similarities that these two hearing aids have. And like me, some of you might not have $1,600 to drop on a pair of prescription hearing aids. And an over-the-counter hearing aid might be your only option. And if you choose the right one, you might be okay. So let's start with price. All right, obviously the Philips hearing aids are more expensive. You're looking at $1,500 for a set. Okay, these are rechargeable. These are, again, the newest until the 9050 comes out, which is probably going to be coming soon. But these are the most advanced Philips hearing aids out there right now. They have artificial intelligence. So do the Elehear Alpha Pros, but they work in different ways. Now, if you're looking at the Oticon version of these Philips 9040s, you're going to be paying a lot more. I think they start out anywhere from around $4,000 for the Oticon Real 1s. Not the 2s, not the 3s, but the 1s. And they can go all the way up to like $7,000. But we're going to be using the Philips price, $1,500. Pretty much the same hearing aid, but much, much more affordable. And then the Elehear Alpha Pro is $499, $500. So why the big price difference? Well, let's talk about it. So we're going to break down all the differences and similarities by category. In some of the categories, the Philips will be the clear winner. In other categories, the Elehear might be the winner. And in a lot of categories, they're about the same. They have some of the same features. So we discussed price. Let's talk about the physical attributes of the hearing aids and the warranty and the durability. So the warranty, this is a pretty big one. The Philips have the clear advantage here with a 3-year warranty and a 6-month trial period. I don't think you're going to find that in any other hearing aid outside of Costco. So, the hearing aids are covered for 3 years. If anything happens to them, if anything stops working, they'll be replaced or repaired. And then, of course, you've got a 6-month trial period, so you can try out these hearing aids for over 5 months. And if you don't like them or want to try something else, you can return them and exchange them for a different hearing aid, or you can just get your money back. The Elehear hearing aids have a 1-year warranty and a 45-day trial period. So big difference there.
So another thing about the physical properties of these hearing aids is the fact that they both have replaceable receivers. So with the Philips receivers, you can just push this little pin and the receiver pops right out, and you could pop a new one on there. And same thing with the Elehear. I didn't notice this at first, but now that I looked at it, there is also a pin that you could push out and the receiver unplugs, just like a real prescription hearing aid. Most other over-the-counter hearing aids that I've reviewed do not have this feature. They have permanently molded receivers, so when that receiver dies, the hearing aid is toast. Well, not with the Elehears.
One of the main things that breaks down with all hearing aids is the receiver, and they will go bad. That is a certainty when it comes to receiver in the canal hearing aids. Now, as far as the durability goes, this is another one where Philips has the clear advantage. It's rated at IP68, which is pretty much the standard for all prescription hearing aids. The 6 is for dust, dirt, and debris. The 8 is for liquids like water. So a 68 is pretty much the highest I've seen. Now, the Elehears, they don't have a rating, so they're not waterproof. They're not water resistant. I did speak to the Elehear team. They said it's pretty much sweat proof, but nothing near the durability or water resistance of your normal prescription hearing aids. Now, as far as the domes and the buttons go, both hearing aids have a rocker switch style button that you can turn the volume up or down on the physical hearing aids themselves. And both hearing aids come with multiple styles of domes. However, with Philips, you have a much bigger selection of domes. You've got open, you've got vented, you've got power domes. You can even get a custom mold to put on the end of that receiver. The Elehears only come with a closed vented style dome and a power dome. So with the Elehear Alpha Pros, you're definitely going to get more of that occlusion effect where you hear your own voice more. It's kind of uncomfortable. Not a huge thing, but I personally don't really like occlusion that much. It does bother me a little bit. But with the Philips hearing aids, if you have a mild high frequency loss like mine, you're going to get a much better, cleaner sound and not so much of that occlusion effect. Now with the Elehear domes, if you take one of the closed domes, you can kind of cut a little slit into each side of the dome and kind of open it up a little bit. And if you guys are interested in seeing what I'm talking about, check out the Elehear review and I kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, both hearing aids have very easy to change wax filters, and this is a huge plus for Elehear because there's some over-the-counter hearing aids out there that don't have wax filters. So the fact that they do is a very good thing. And of course, all prescription hearing aids are going to have wax filters. Now, charging. Both hearing aids have a pretty similar battery capacity for the hearing aids themselves. Probably get around 20 hours if you have a pretty normal, mild to moderate loss. Of course, this will change depending on your hearing loss, depending on how much streaming you do, how high you have the volume up, all this stuff. All these things are variables and will affect the battery time. And both hearing aids come with a portable charger. They come standard with the portable charger. This wasn't always the case with Philips, but after some updates and some time later, now they too come with a portable charger. So they both do, but Elehear is the winner here because their portable battery bank has a much bigger battery capacity. You can actually get 6 or 7 additional charges off of one fully charged battery pack. And with the Philips, I think you can get about 2 or 3 full charges on a fully charged battery pack. I'm not talking about the hearing aid batteries. I'm talking about the actual battery that is inside the charger that gives it the ability to charge it on the go. So 1 point for Elehear.
Now, the moment you guys have probably all been waiting for is the sound quality. This is where you're going to find the main difference between the Philips 9040 and the Elehear Alpha Pro. For an over-the-counter hearing aid, the Alpha Pros sound pretty good. Now, one of the reasons I chose the Elehear Alpha Pro to compare with the 9040 is one, because it's not programmable, and I wanted to show you guys and talk about the differences between a real prescription, programmable hearing aid and the non-programmable over-the-counter. And there's a lot of non-programmable over-the-counters. Most of them are not programmable. Most of them are very basic, but the Elehear is more than that. It's not programmable, but it does have a lot of advanced features that other prescription hearing aids have.
But is it as good as the Philips? Is the sound quality as good? The answer to that is no. No, it's not. It's not. I almost want to say it's not even comparable, which is fair. These are prescription hearing aids we're talking about, and this is a $500 over-the-counter hearing aid. The sound quality is good. It's better than your average over-the-counter hearing aid, but it is not on the same playing field as the Philips 9040. The Philips 9040 is a real prescription hearing aid with 64 processing channels and 24 adjustment bands. There's no way the Elehear could be as good as the Philips. Not saying the Elehear is a bad hearing aid at all. It's not. But don't buy this expecting the same sound quality you get from a legit prescription hearing aid from one of the oldest, biggest hearing aid manufacturers around in the world, Demont. They don't play around. They make beautiful sounding hearing aids.
Another really big advantage that the Philips 9040s have and any other prescription hearing aids have is the fact that they have a wide range of hearing losses that they can accommodate. You can have a super mild loss, or you can have a profound hearing loss. All they have to do with the Philips is give you a more powerful receiver or a custom mold, and we can crank up that power. With the Elehear Alpha Pros, they can only fit a mild to moderate loss.
So why is the sound quality not up to par with the Philips? It's because of the fitting software. It's the fitting software that we use to program the hearing aids. There are just so many more advanced features in the prescription hearing aids. So many things are going on behind the scenes that you don't even realize. There's several different fitting algorithms that we're able to choose from. For example, if you're somebody that's never worn hearing aids before, I wouldn't start you off with the NAL NL2 best practices fitting algorithm. I would start you off with something a little more mild so that you don't return the hearing aids the next day because it's just too much, going on. Like I said before, the Philips have 24 adjustment bands or fitting bands that we're able to, adjust up and down per frequency and base it off of your hearing loss. The Philips are also calibrated. We put them in your ear and we run a calibration. It plays a very loud sound and it's measuring the acoustics of your ear canal, and it's making sure that there's not going to be any feedback. You don't do this with over-the-counter hearing aids. The Philips hearing aids have customizable programs. Not only are you able to customize these programs, but you're able to choose from a big list of different programs. You've got stuff like movie/theater mode. You've got speech and noise. You have automobile. There's a classroom mode that can be thought of as like a church program. So there's a lot more options available. But again, you can also customize each program. With the Philips, there's several different types of directionality modes. So in what way the microphones are picking up sound. There's omnidirectional, there's a fixed directionality, there's dynamic directionality, where the hearing aids can switch from omnidirectional to a fixed directional position based on your environment, based on where the speech is coming from. There's all sorts of different directionality modes that you can choose from and that we can set as your hearing aid fitter. And then you have all the different advanced features, such as the adjustable noise reduction mode. There's speech clarifier and different settings for that. There's wind noise reduction and handling noise reduction. Whenever your hair touches the microphone or you put your glasses on or off, there's all these different advanced features that we can go in there and customize based off your preferences and your feedback that you give us. You just don't have the same level of customization with the Elehears that you do with the Philips, and this is to be expected. This all boils down to a much more crisp, cleaner, or customized sound, and just lends to a much, much higher sound quality. Hence, the $1,000 price difference. Does this mean that the Elehear hearing aids are bad? No, not at all. They just aren't on the same level when it comes to the sound quality. And if you don't have $1,500 or $1,600 to drop on a prescription hearing aid, your only option would be an over-the-counter. Now you'll have a little bit better understanding of what you're getting yourself into and what you might be missing out on. But we're not done yet. We still haven't even talked about the app. And there's some things that the Alpha Pros have that the Philips don't have, other than the bigger battery capacity in the charger, in the portable charger. And I'm talking about the app, the hearing aid app. Now, both hearing aids have an app that you can download from the App Store, and both hearing aids are compatible with both Android and iPhones. But with the Philips 9040, as good of a hearing aid as it is missing some stuff in the app. Now, I agree with a lot of the people out there that say Bluetooth, streaming, a smartphone app. All these features should be secondary considerations when deciding on a hearing aid. We wear the hearing aids to understand speech better, not to stream music or stream the audio from your favorite YouTuber, like the Hearing Club. We don't wear hearing aids to listen to music, that's playing from the iPhone. I get it. And I agree with it. They're right. That's not why we wear hearing aids. However, there are some really great features that you can find in the apps that do lend to better speech understanding, especially when it comes to noise and an equalizer and being able to really dial in your hearing aids yourself. Because like I always say, we can't hear what you're hearing with the hearing aids, only you can. So when we're pulling our levers and adjusting all these different things, we know what should sound good for you. We know what should sound clear for you, but at the end of the day, we can't put your hearing aids in with your hearing loss and experience the sound that you're experiencing. But you can, and you can make adjustments yourself. And again, just really dial in all that stuff. But you can only do that if the app allows you to. Now, speaking of the equalizer, both hearing aid apps have a 3-band equalizer. But it wasn't always the case with Philips. They recently added this probably 2-3 months ago, maybe, after much complaining and different people making videos. They finally decided to add a 3-band equalizer. The Elehear Alpha Pro always had an equalizer, and guess what? Their equalizer is better. Well, I wouldn't say better, it just has a couple of extra features that the Philips don't have. So with the Philips, the equalizer is a universal equalizer, so it affects all programs, okay? But with the Elehear Alpha Pro, their equalizer is program specific. So each program, like outdoor, restaurant, normal, all these programs can have their own individual equalizer setting. So if you want more high frequency sound in the normal program, the general program, you can set the equalizer for that. But when you switch to restaurant mode, you don't have to keep that high frequency sound. You can actually increase the low frequency sound or the mids or whatever you want. They're all separate. So each program has its own equalizer settings, which is really, really cool. And I know I talk about equalizers a lot, but it really is an important thing in my opinion. Just like using a pair of binoculars and having the ability to really focus that image until it's nice and crisp and clear, you can do the same thing with the equalizer and really focus and fine tune your hearing. So if you have one, make sure you use it, play around with it. You're not going to hurt anything. Now, another great feature that the Elehear Alpha Pros have is the front focus option. The Philips actually don't have this in the app, and this is another reason I recommend the Jabra hearing aids to folks that are more tech savvy and aren't afraid to play around with the iPhone and use their iPhone. This is a really great feature that will cut down on a lot of the background noise. Instead of picking up sound in a 360 all around you, like in a restaurant, you've got people behind you and to the side, but you just want to hear the person in front of you, but you can't because you're just getting everything and all this noise. Well, with the Elehear Alpha Pro, you can put on the front focus feature and it changes it from 360 to right in front. Now, the Elehear Alpha Pros isn't as advanced or as effective as the Jabras. I mean, Jabra spent a lot of time, or GN spent a lot of time on this, and it's really second to none in my opinion for background noise. But Elehear's version does work, it does make a difference, and it's nice to use and see in the app. I really wish and hope that Philips implements some kind of a noise filter or front focus feature in their app like the Jabra and the Elehear. Now, speaking of noise filter, that's another feature that the Elehear Alpha Pros have. They have a noise filter, an adjustable noise filter that you can use in the app. So if you put it in the front focus mode and turn on the noise filter, it's going to really reduce a lot of unwanted noise. I don't know if you guys recall, but I did a review on the Elehear and I talked about taking it into a Chinese buffet. I did just that. I turned on the noise reduction, I put it in restaurant mode and turned the front focus on. Well, that's really all the restaurant mode does is turn the front focus on, but I did it and it did help significantly. And that's just another thing that the Philips app doesn't have. No noise filter, no adjustable noise filter, and no microphone directionality option. And Philips, Demont, people want this. People enjoy this. If you guys are unsure and don't know if it's just looked at as a gimmicky thing, check the comments in the Jabra videos. People want this, so add it to the app. And I will fit nothing but Philips. Now, the Elehear app also has a really cool remote microphone feature. So you can turn on and the Philips has this too. So this is one of those things that both hearing aids have. But I really wanted to point out the fact that Elehear has it because there's not a lot of over-the-counter hearing aids that have this feature. So you can take your phone and you can use it as a microphone. So if you have trouble understanding somebody and you're eating dinner, you could take your phone and you could set it right next to the person that you have trouble understanding. Or if you have trouble with the TV, you can take that microphone, you could set it right in front of the TV, and all the sound from the TV speakers will kind of be funneled right into your phone and then sent to your hearing aids directly, like streaming. So this could be a really useful, really cool feature. Again, both of them have it, but just wanted to point that out. Now, the one thing that the Philips app has that the Elehear is missing is the Find My Hearing Aid feature. Normally I wouldn't point this out, but there are other over-the-counter hearing aids that do have this feature, and it is a very nice feature. So if you lose your hearing aids, the phone will show you the last location that your hearing aids were connected to the phone. So if you leave them at the gas station, they fall out or whatever, and you get home, you realize both or one of your hearing aids is gone, you can open up your phone, go into the app, and look at the map, and it will show that they're still there at the gas station, because as soon as you drove off, they lost connection and the map just kind of stays on that spot. It'd be cool to see this in the Elehear app, but it's not going to have everything, I guess. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when comparing these two hearing aids is the streaming. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out here. And this is another thing that people say shouldn't really be a big consideration or a feature that you want to look for in hearing aids, because that's not what hearing aids are about. But I'm going to mention it anyway, because I'll tell you what, streaming is an important feature if you have trouble understanding on the telephone, which there's a lot of folks that do, and trouble understanding the TV. When you have the hearing aid streaming the TV audio, it is a lifesaver. And when you have the phone calls streamed, it is a lifesaver. It is crystal clear. Now, when it comes to the streaming with the Elehear and the Philips, the stream quality of the Elehears is very nice, very crisp, and just overall really good sound quality. When I'm listening to music, if I'm on the treadmill and I have the Elehear Alpha Pros in, I could play music and it sounds nice. But when I have my Jabras on, I don't listen to music because it sounds terrible. I listen to podcasts and I listen to, YouTube videos. Not a huge deal, not a make or break situation for me if I'm looking for hearing aids, but it is nice to have that nice streaming sound quality. Another nice thing about the Elehears is they're not limited and shackled by the bonds of companies' proprietary stuff, if that makes any sense. So with the Philips, Jabras, Rexton hearing aids, Oticons, Resound, Beltone, Miracle Ear, Signia, True Hearing, all those, three manufacturers, 20 different brands. In order to stream, you have to use their proprietary stuff. Well, over-the-counter hearing aids, they don't have those same restrictions. You can connect to pretty much anything that will allow a Bluetooth connection. And with the Elehears, you can pair those hearing aids to your Windows PC. With the Philips, you can't. Well, not yet. With these new 9050s, that might be different. They're going to have the new Bluetooth codec, the Bluetooth LE audio. They're going to have the Auracast. But as of right now, and I've tried with my Jabras, I've tried Philips, you just cannot connect these to your Windows PC. You can connect them to a Mac if you have a new enough Mac and the right CPU and the right operating system. It's a nightmare. But point is, you can't connect them to your Windows PC. Well, with the Elehears, you shut them off, you turn them on, you go to the Bluetooth menu on your Windows PC, and boom, they connect no problem. So if you're on a PC and you're watching YouTube videos, whatever, you can get all that sound streamed to the hearing aids. Not a huge deal, but it is pretty cool. I like the freedom to connect my devices to whatever I want. And with these prescription hearing aids, you can't. It's all about money. Buy our $300 streamer, then you can watch TV. Buy our, whatever. Anyway, rant over. Elehears can connect. Pretty cool. So the conclusion is this: you are going to get a much nicer, much better sounding hearing aid with the Philips. I mean, it's a premium prescription hearing aid. That's going to be a given. But if you aren't ready or you're not capable of dropping, over $1,000 on a pair of hearing aids, then the Elehear Alpha Pro is a pretty decent option if you're looking for a nicer, more advanced, programmable over-the-counter hearing aid. And it also has quite a bit of prescription hearing aid features. Now, if you guys want to see the full review, full breakdown, much more detailed, discussion on the Elehear Alpha Pros, check out the review video that I made. And also, big time congratulations to Lauren in Texas. We actually did a drawing and Jack picked the lucky winner because Elehear was nice enough to offer a free pair of hearing aids to one of our viewers, and Lauren from Texas was the winner. So congrats, my man. Now, if you guys would like a free set of hearing aids, make sure you subscribe, make sure you keep watching the videos because we will be doing more drawings, hopefully regularly. It kind of depends on the different brands. I try to get them to be nice and, send a free pair to somebody, but if they won't, then I can just give you guys one of my pairs. All right. So we will be doing more drawings. Just make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe and watch these videos. All right, guys. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, well, I already mentioned all that. Have a great day and let's get hearing.